Police uniform here to stay, says IG. The Inspector General has said the new police uniform is here to stay despite the harsh criticism from the public and section of officers. Now, mainly it's been about how the uniform looks. There's a raft of police reforms as outlined by President Uhuru Kenyatta last week, including merging parts of the AP force and the regular police service to come up with a general duty service. The fact about the living standards of police officers being given a house allowance to go look for alternative accommodation elsewhere. But the one that has stood out and the one that has really generated a lot of discussion is a new police uniform.
Yeah, Fred, my question number one is, again, when we go about the president mobbing resources and sealing loopholes, this new uniform coming in at such a time when we are in a financial crisis as a nation, to replace this uniform, how many or how much money is going to be used? How much, as in billions? Is this necessary? That is the question. Number two, you know, we have the Kavludi-led, commission on police. Those are the people that are really doing it. Were they really consulted? Were they really consulted? That is the National Police Service. And it was Kavludi consulted with his people. Number two, this uniform, how much money is going to be spent at such an hour and a time as now? And this blue here, like the one Didmas is putting on, this blue, I think even criminals, because the police uniform, we've had criminals putting on police uniform and all that, and then coming out as police and terrorizing people. And I think this thing can be used. I don't agree with this blue very much. Actually, to change the uniform, there needed to be consultation. So much needed to be done. And for me, I'm concerned with the money that is going to be spent on this thing, especially at this hour. Yes. And then, you know, of course, we've had a duplication of roles and lots of positions here. And to me, I've just thought, one, I agree with the president, cutting off all these positions, because sometimes it's like a cartel. You know, then we hear this traffic officer on the road is collecting money. This money has to go to the base commander. From the base commander, it has to go to the county commander. From that other one to the other one. Some of these positions, they are like me in the church. I'm the bishop. Then from the bishop, we have an overseer, so we have a pastor, and that is the end.
You're okay with the reforms, but the uniform, there's a problem.
The uniform, there's a problem.
I think I had the privilege of serving this country on the Committee of National Administration and Security, and I want to confirm to my good friend that some of the reforms that the President announced, they were arrived at after a thorough consultative...
including the color of the uniform.
And it's not the uniform that arrests criminals. It's not the uniform that really makes Kenya conclude whether we have a completely reformed police force or not. So to me, the color of uniform is neither here nor there. But I want to tell him on the bit of these are questions which we asked, and we looked at the police have the police uniforms policy, where every year every police officer is issued with 2 pairs of new uniforms. So it's not going to incur any extra expenses from the taxpayers, because they already have the money. They are simply telling the supplier that, oh, you've been supplying this, but this time around, we are changing the colors. So that's not going to change anything. Because
there's been a lot of reaction, even online, and everyone I've met, even in this panel, they say, okay, fine, but this does not look good at all.
Well, I think, first of all, let me thank the President and congratulate the team that has been working on these reforms. The one thing that has touched my heart is the housing reforms for the police. You know, police currently, if you go to the places where our police live, you will pity, you will wonder how you expect a police to serve you. Because people live in one hut, it is divided by a pasia, you're supposed to be with your wife there, somebody else with their wife there, it ends up terrible. So I think the fact that we're going to give our policemen house allowances so that they decide where to live is going to boost morale. The cutting down of all the bureaucracy within the police. perfect, you know, so that you're not in one county you have an administration police commander, you have CID commander, you have, you know, and then it multiplies going downwards. There are savings there. I'm sure there are huge savings as far as deletion of some of those positions are concerned, so that we have a streamlined reporting system in order to increase efficiency so then I think this matter of the uniforms, again, as Honorable Didmas has said, the police would get uniform anyway, and shoes and all these things. It's only that now they're probably not going to be using the ones they were using before, but even this year, they were going to get uniforms. But then the other thing that I have learned sitting in the Committee of Labor again, that oversight NYS and all these things, these uniforms are actually being stitched at NYS. So this thing of Chinese are bringing uniforms, I don't know, the uniforms are being stitched by our young people at NYS, which is, I think, is a big opportunity for our young people to produce those uniforms. So I think, in fact, as far as the color is concerned, again, the color of this uniform, I think tutazoea tu. Unajua sasa
and I think there is something which
what is this? I mean, the list of the issues is what has been made the biggest of the issues.
Yes.
How does the color arrest criminals? If I were to quote Baraza, or how does the bigger thing that Kenyans should have been saying is, with these reforms, we need police attitudes to change. We need them to, you know, we need them to be more a police service than a police force.
The design and the color of the new police uniform continues to be the biggest debate on Twitter.